Neva Know.
Aaron asks us, was there any new challenges that you encountered when you were working on this particular album that you haven't experienced before?
Challenges,
and more so just like, how do you explain like the difference of making this album compared to past
I mean,
ones?
it's all down to creation approach. I've talked about it on this podcast a bunch, but I'm approaching it from a very free, paint against the wall, non-micromanagement place.
And correct me if I'm wrong, is this the first album where you recorded yourself?
I recorded this entire album myself.
Yeah. That's probably the first one, right?
Yeah, and I made this entire thing in my room. The room was moving, but this was a bedroom-made album.
So that has to be the biggest difference.
That is.
And if like a great example is when Billie Eilish got really big. A lot of people don't know, she made her first big album with her brother in their childhood house in this tiny little bedroom where like it's so small you can't even stand up in it. There's just a bed and then there's a desk and there's all like the gear and everything. And they cut the whole thing there, just the two of them.
Yeah, I've talked about this a bunch, just like.
But that's not the norm.
Yeah,
like the norm is you're in this big studio and there's engineers and producers and
writers and
there's nothing
labels.
Personal about it to the artist, really.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I mean, I talked about this. I want to say in one of the last few episodes. It's been a while, but just like the day and age of like going to a studio. I made a post about this while we were in Austin about like, I posted The View. I made that song, and I was just like, I made one of my favorite songs here yesterday in an hour. And the days of me ever being in a big studio and overpaying, putting a time limit and a price tag on my creativity. And, going into the studio, just think about the idea of like, oh, no, I'm going to be creatively inclined and inspired tomorrow at 4 p.m.
It doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's a bad approach. It's an outdated approach.
So I haven't seen the whole episode yet, but one of the newest episodes of Dave, I think he takes some type of psychedelic and he goes into like one of those like water chambers, and
float tanks.
And in it he confronts his ego, and his ego is just like him bald with like a diaper, and he confronts his ego about like who he should be and what he should be doing. And bro, it is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen.
Yeah, shout out Lil Dicky, man. Fucking that shit's, I fuck with his show.
Yeah, but the point is like when you're like down to the bare bones of just you in your room by yourself, 3 a.m, maybe a little high.
Hey, buddy.
And you're just catching a wave and something hits you.
It's me, man.
It's so different than like showing up to an appointment at 4 p.m. in the afternoon and there's like 4 people there and
everyone's going through different things in that room. Everyone's trying to, make a name for themselves or what have you. There's just so many different factors, right?
Not to say that you can't make a good song that way, but it's not going to be as personal, and you're not going to be as vulnerable in your message as you could have been.
Yeah, and I think that's the best part of my music.
Exactly.
Personal, vulnerable, honest, unique. Those are the first 4 words I think of.
Yep.
I'm not the best technical singer, not even fucking close, I definitely have a gift with like words in my own way, but I told you, like, it's literally, these songs are like moments in time in my life.
Yep.
I remember what inspired them. I remember where I was when I made them.
Yeah.
And no one else could have made these songs. No one else can sing them, Let anyone sing them. All the best singers in the world, it wouldn't sound the same.
Yep.
Wouldn't feel the same. And that's been my favorite part of the reaction to this album. I feel like everyone understands. They totally understand. Like, they're just like, yo, this is you. Like, and this is how we've felt about it for so long, So it's been really nice to feel connected to the listener, because I've felt very disconnected in the last few years, killing off Mike Stud, not being able to really, let people know what was going on for a while. I was in between the record deal with, record deal possibilities with a huge artist, friendships intertwined. There's just a lot going on, and I felt there's a disconnect. The podcast really has helped bring back that connection and fuel that connection. And I think the podcast arcs perfectly into this music.
Yeah.